Welcome to Gorilla Sports Off Field. I am Liv Moods, and in just a moment, we'll be joined by Nate Jackson. And this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. So head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money today.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome
Yeah.
in, everybody. Woo, woo, woo. I'm feeling myself. I got some new snakeskin boots. Woo!
I got some new Chuck Taylor Converse.
And it's Super Bowl week, which is very exciting. Nate, can you believe the NFL season really, it feels long week to week, especially when you're a fan / reporter of a team that's got a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I feel like that makes the season go by a little bit slower sometimes. But overall, feels like this NFL season, just like that, we blink our eyes and it's almost over.
And it's almost like once it's down to two teams, it's not as fun anymore.
I agree.
It's like, okay,
It's lost the
it's
excitement.
over. It's
Yeah,
over for 30
over.
teams, right?
Mhm.
And so now it's just like one game left to watch. And you never
That's
know
it.
if it's, the Super Bowl sometimes is a good game, sometimes
Mhm.
it's not. It's always a nice spectacle. It's like a national holiday. It should be a national holiday.
I agree.
We should not have to go to work the next day.
We should actually get the next 2 days off to rest the hangover and kind of like, especially if the Chiefs win again, I think we should all get the rest of the week off following the Super Bowl so we can mourn their win with our loss.
Yeah. Do you want the Eagles to win?
There is not a Nate. Does a bear shit in the woods?
Have you ever seen it do that? Maybe it leaves. Maybe
It might.
goes
It might
somewhere.
go find a porta potty. or a
Maybe it goes out
cabin.
onto the street or
Yeah, no, I absolutely am 1000%
Yeah.
a Philadelphia Eagles fan
Okay.
this weekend. Fly, Eagles, fly. I mean, to me, it's just it's a no-brainer for my one AFC West Broncos heart, but also for the fact that, it's time. It's time to dethrone. It's time to get a new king in the house.
Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Strictly talking about the Broncos prospects in the years to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Would the Chiefs dynasty be quicker to be dismantled if they win this one and make it 3? Would Travis Kelce call it? Would maybe Andy, would guys start walking away? Maybe Spags goes to another team. What else is there for me to accomplish here? Whereas if they win, if they lose this game,
Now they've tasted blood.
Now
they're
they're like, we
not
gotta
going to
get
give it
that
up.
back.
You're right. To be honest, I haven't really thought about that possibility. It would probably make it easier on the Broncos if the Chiefs won again, because then it's like you might see some of the retirements and the people saying, all right, 3, woo, we're good. I'm done. I'm moving on with my life. But also, my Broncos heart can't handle. Also, I want the Broncos to be good enough that I don't care if you have a Travis Kelce.
yeah,
We've got a freaking
we got Lucas
Pat
Kroll.
Surtain. We've got Brandon Jones. We've got Lucas Kroll. We've got Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And we are Bo-leavers. So
Yes.
to be honest, there's a part of me that also has a lot of faith in the Sean Payton and Bo Nix that I was not on board with early. I mean, I'm admitting my faults there. I don't have a ton of faults, but that's one of them. I'm kidding.
No,
plenty.
skepticism in the face of almost 10 years of misery.
It's pretty normal.
You cannot be blamed for that.
It's pretty
And those who say, oh, you're not a true fan because you didn't believe from the start. Well, you have to trust your eyes, and your eyes have to tell you something that you need to believe in, right? If you don't, it's just called faith, and then it's just a religion for you.
Right.
And for those super
you
fans,
can't do that to yourself every Sunday.
You're an analyst too.
And Monday and Thursday.
Right.
I mean,
and you're trying to use your eyes and come up with an opinion based on what you see.
For sure.
And so most intelligent sports fans needed to see that from the Broncos, from Sean Payton, from Bo Nix, to change their mind about the course of this team. And now they have seen it.
Right.
Now the expectations are high.
Right.
Now
because what in a decade made me believe until I really saw it unfold?
Nothing.
There wasn't anything. It's like, okay, yes, this is a young guy that's got a lot of starts in his college career, and he's done some really great things with different teams, and he's very well experienced, and we know Sean Payton is also that way. But just because you have a good coach with a good quarterback doesn't mean it always works. So there was some skepticism as a longtime Denver Broncos fan after watching a lot of painful years of football that right off the bat, when there were some inconsistencies, I mean, they did start 0-2, and it was like, oh, here we go again. And let's not forget, Sean Payton wasn't entirely perfect at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Play calling was a little questionable. We weren't entirely sure what his vision was for this offense, having gotten rid of Tim Patrick and some other guys that we felt like could have been a little more reliable than what we were seeing early. So yeah, there was skepticism, and I think rightfully so. But I'm on board. I'm excited. And now I know, now that I'm on board, though, that's where I would not be mad at fans for being frustrated if I were to backtrack and then be like, Sean, what do you, it's like, you either trust him or you don't. And right now he's got my trust.
I'll say this though about that. When you're a player on a team, the coaches like you enough for you to be there.
Right.
They believe that you're very good.
Yeah.
That does not stop them from yelling at you and calling you out when you do mess up.
That is true.
And so if we hold these guys to a high standard, which we should, because they've now proven they deserve that.
Correct.
Now we can still critique them when they suck, where we don't have to be like, oh no, Sean Payton, you had a good year last year. No, if he comes out at the beginning of next season and poops in the bed,
poops down his leg,
we're gonna have to let him know that that's not okay. I don't think
that is fair. It actually, there might be even more
criticism.
Yeah.
Because once you show what you're capable of, okay, if you're not living up to that, then now we're going to let you know about it.
I think there's a lot going on in the world right now where it's the whole, when someone shows you who they are, believe them type of energy.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that in a lot of ways.
Yeah. What are some other ways?
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's just some things. But I do think the Broncos have shown us who they are, who they can be. Now the expectations are high and we want it to stay that way. Yeah. So I'm feeling good about that. Want to ask you, first and foremost, want to open the show with your Pro Bowl reactions. And that kind of actually, there was some Broncos representation there, which was really exciting to see. And so kind of a good transition into the Pro Bowl. My question for you is, the NFC has now won their third straight. But in my humble opinion, the AFC in the regular season seems to be
the superior,
more competitive, the superior, more talented in so many ways. What do you think it is about this NFC group of Pro Bowlers that keeps dominating in a Kansas City Chiefs-esque fashion?
So it's a flag situation, right? Like 7-on-7. So right off the bat, nobody watches a Pro Bowl anymore. Maybe did you watch it?
I did not.
Exactly. Like,
I watched bits and pieces, but it didn't catch my attention for longer than 10 minutes as I was cleaning the house type of thing.
It's got to be the worst all-star game of all the professional sports now,
which is disappointing, right?
It is, because it's the most fun sport. It's the best sport.
How do they make it better?
All-star game. They've been trying to do that for years now, trying to tweak it, because guys started to make business decisions and turn down. It used to be like, when I played, guys would actually play that game. It was a game that people played, so you have to bring it. You're getting hit. And football is about speed, violence, collisions, and now no one wants to do that when it's not on their own team. Like, the Pro Bowl doesn't matter that way. I mean, you can incentivize it by giving cash prizes for the winning team, which they do, but guys were turning it down more and more every year that they finally took off the pads, and they're like, we're not even going to do this because you guys are just playing patty cake out there, and it's actually going to get someone else hurt, because it's like half the guys are just going half speed, but one guy comes in full speed and then somebody gets hurt. Football only works if everyone's going 100%.
Right.
That's the one thing about football that's different from all other sports. You're sprinting the entire time. You're never going less than 100%. Baseball, you're standing around a lot. Soccer, you have moments where you pick up the speed, but there's a lot of jogging. Basketball as well. Football, from the moment the play starts, it's all out. And so how do you do a replica of that when guys don't have anything at stake and they don't want to get hurt?
Right.
So now they're doing all this.
The other piece of it is there a fear aspect that lingers with these games. I think we see that also with even the All-Star weekend with the NBA players. It's like, there's a lot of players defense I would love to see in the dunk contest, but they know that they've also got a season that
and it's the middle of the season too, which is
that's
unusual.
Even crazier.
But for football, when I was playing here, Rod Smith was a Pro Bowler. He went out, he got concussed in the game because he laid out for a pass down the field and they cracked him. I mean, this was real football, and Rod had a real injury in that. And so you don't want to risk that. And so the Broncos players got to go out and experience that, but it was more like a trip to Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like skills challenge and let's have some fun. We don't have to put on pads and things like that. So I think it's great for the Broncos players. It's great that they've got some representatives, but as far as like a satisfying football game, I don't think there was much of that. But I do want to answer your question about AFC versus NFC.
Yeah.
AFC dominates in the regular season,
Mm-hmm.
but the NFC dominates in the Pro Bowl. I think that's because the AFC has better teams, you know, and maybe the NFC has better individuals who don't necessarily play well as a team, but then they get in a group of individuals for a week of skills and fun, then they excel there. I don't know.
I mean, it's a great point, but why do you think that is? Why are there so many talented individuals in the NFC that maybe don't click as a team?
I think the longevity of some of the programs in the AFC,
Yeah.
the Chiefs, coach been there for 15 years.
Yeah.
The Steelers, coach been there for 15 years. The Ravens, coach been there for 15 years. There's more, you know, the tenure of the best coaches in the AFC is a lot longer. And so those teams play better together. You know, I
Some
think
of that too, though, is maybe the AFC front office is having a little bit more patience
Yeah.
for their coaches, because
Yeah.
you're not always going to have a winning season. It's not always going to go your way. And I think we see a turnover rate of coaches across all major sports where when they don't have a successful year or things start to go south, you immediately try to get rid of the coach and assume that that's going to fix all of your issues. So
yeah.
maybe there's also just better front offices
Yeah.
in the AFC.
Yeah.
And
Someone
I do think,
someone calling me out over there.
what are they saying?
Nate, you're wrong again. Could you put that up there?
Excuse me, only morale. No need for all caps.
No, it's fine. I actually love when people attack me and tell me I'm so wrong, so stupid, and what do I know about football? Look at my
Well, he played it, so that's
no.
a good
But
start.
then when you tell people that, they'll go, oh, and then they'll go look up my stats and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about because I wasn't a Pro Bowler, or because I wasn't a Hall of Famer, or because I didn't lead the team or whatever. So there's always someone to tell you that your opinion is actually not legitimate.
Right.
You don't really know. And I'm not saying that to you only, Morale. I think you might know what you're talking about. So let's examine that comment. So he said, you're wrong, Nate. Again, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson didn't play in the Pro Bowl, and Derrick Henry. I didn't mention those people at all. I guess.
No, maybe they're referring to the fact that when we
that's why they didn't win.
Well, or when we're talking about the fact that the NFC has better
Yeah.
individual players, that some of the best individual
yeah.
players of the AFC.
The best quarterbacks in the NFL are in the AFC. They are.
Right.
And actually, it's not even close.
It's not even close. It's
You know,
really not. Joe Burrow.
And so that's probably also why the AFC is better during the regular season, because they have better quarterbacks.
And
right.
that
And the
matters.
NFC might have better other positions and stuff like that. And, you know, the NFC does have Saquon Barkley right now.
And I'm not saying that being a rookie makes you less than in any capacity, but the fact that our NFC championship was between Jalen Hurts, who faces quite a bit of criticism in terms of being a quarterback. You know, we're seeing these quarterbacks become more and more mobile, and then they get criticized for not throwing the ball well enough and whatever. I think the Jalen Hurts criticism this season is very unwarranted and actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. However, the NFC championship, the other quarterback was a rookie.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a future for the NFC to start building their quarterbacks and have an equal caliber to the AFC. But right now, the AFC quarterbacks are significantly more talented than the NFC, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Bo Nix might have had an easier path to the playoffs in the NFC.
It's very possible.
Right. You got to go through some juggernauts, and that's not the case in the NFC. So
he's going to be battle tested. That's good. He knows
is.
if you can go toe to toe with a Patrick Mahomes or a Joe Burrow or a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, I think you can probably face just about any NFC team and feel pretty confident in your abilities. So either way, Pro Bowl, kind of a stinker. You know, I don't enjoy it the way that I probably should. You know, you get some of the best players in each position and you would expect it to be like highly entertaining and really fun to watch. And the Pro Bowl it doesn't do it for me the way that I feel like it should.
And I think that's going to be reflected in the ratings.
Oh, absolutely.
And the NFL as a league office, they are slaves to those ratings in certain ways. They go back and they understand what worked and what didn't. I mean, viewership was down 9% this year in the NFL during the season. And so why is that? They're going to have a focus group and try to figure out why that happened.
It's because Taylor Swift is only a fan of one team.
Maybe
and everyone's sick of that team.
Yeah.
I think that's probably.
They need to either trade Travis Kelce to another team to
or
boost.
we need Sabrina Carpenter to be a fan, or
But
we
would
need.
that even move the needle? Because Josh Allen's Haley Stanfield chick.
Yeah, but
she's not
you know
that
what?
famous.
I would say pop stars have a very different pull.
What about Brittany?
If a Sabrina Carpenter were to become like a Broncos fan, I think all eyes would be on the Denver Broncos. You know, I think pop stars are just on another level.
Mhm.
We got to get like a Sabrina Carpenter involved here, in not with the Chiefs. Like we can't have her start dating one of the Chiefs. I mean, then we're freaking royally screwed. I mean, we are royally screwed.
What about the Coach Prime factor? Like if he were to coach an NFL team, would that help viewership?
Absolutely.
Because like, what was the main story in the NFL this year? There wasn't like one. I mean, Saquon Barkley had a great year. Probably Jaden Daniels and the rookie. But you're always following the rookie quarterbacks. That's always kind of a story.
Of course.
So like, what was like the main story? Like, was there a great storyline in the NFL this year?
I think the storyline was, are the Chiefs going to do it again?
Yeah.
And break everybody's
boring.
heart. It is very boring.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what it is. I'm not being a hater. I'm really not. Well,
no, you're not. But you're a Broncos fan.
There is some hater.
You're supposed to be though.
In my
you know what?
body.
You're Broncos fans. You're
correct.
Supposed to hate a little
so there
bit.
is some hater in this conversation I'm about to have, but honestly, that's really one of the reasons that I want to see another team win it. I'm getting bored.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it must be nice to be at the top for this long, and I have nothing but respect for the Chiefs for being able to be on the top and be so competitive and go 3 Super Bowls. I mean, it would be insane. It would be crazy, and it would be great, and I would give the flowers, but I'm bored.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody else go in there and just, say Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, refs, it doesn't matter. We're better.
Yeah.
And I want that.
Yeah.
I need that.
You're not alone.
Yeah, I need that. I think to be honest, here's my hot take.
Tell me.
I need the Chiefs to be dethroned for personal reasons, right? I'm a Broncos fan. I'm sick of seeing them win, blah, blah, blah. So while I need the Chiefs to lose, I think more than that, the NFL needs the Eagles to win. I think there's starting to become some frustration, some conversations, some conspiracy theories about what kind of voodoo magic is going on over there in Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
So I think it would actually benefit the NFL to see another team win this year's Super Bowl. Because I do think we've talked about ratings.
So they're going to actually have a different
down.
mandate now? Like the refs are now going to be, the Eagles are going to get all the calls in the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
We're just going to tee off on Patrick Mahomes.
But I think there's a lot of people starting to pick up on, you mentioned ratings being down.
Yeah.
You mentioned some pretty egregious calls this season in favor of the Chiefs that I think were kind of on full display. Whereas in years past, you could have said, oh, blah, 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 whatever. There have been a few this season where it's like, come on.
Yeah.
You can't even argue. You can't even deny it. So I just think, there's probably a lot of people that share the same feeling as I, which is I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored. I want to see somebody else go in there and shake it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I think the Eagles winning would help the NFL in terms of kind of bringing back some of that, like, woo, keeping you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah,
and
it's
keeping you
anybody's
excited.
game, right? Any given Sunday. Yeah, it's not going to be a really exciting moment to watch Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce hug and kiss with the confetti coming down and her go, oh my God, like, oh my God, like that was so, oh my God. I don't want to see that again. And then Patrick Mahomes being like, and I just don't want to see it.
As you can tell, we have a really strong opinion about how we want Sunday to go. I'm with you though. I don't want to see
the
it.
Camera cut to Taylor Swift and not her being like, oh my God, but being like, oh my God, like, oh my God. Like,
we need a different type of oh my God here. Yeah, no, I agree. I just think he said, what did I just tune into? Ha ha ha. Honestly, we're still trying to figure it out. I think we're still processing. We just
all don't want to see Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce celebrating again and like
we're over
embracing
it.
And like
it feels like we've read the same book 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to pick up a new book and start reading it.
The same 3 people up on stage holding the trophy at the end of the same game with the same interview and the same, like, let's not do that again.
Well, and it's not taking away from the fact that they have deserved what they've gotten and they are talented. I'm not saying I'm not being irritated because of how good they are. I'm just irritated because it's like, can somebody come in and ruffle some Kansas City Chiefs feathers ASAP.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles can do it.
Vic Fangio.
Come on now.
Vic.
Defense
Yep.
and Saquon.
Yep.
And you know what? That leads me to our next conversation, Nate.
Love it.
Who or what
Mm.
are the X factors from either team? You get one from each. We'll start with you. And then we're actually, ladies and gentlemen, going to get into some fun Super Bowl props. Not what you think. They're very fun, and we're going to talk through that. But I want to ask you, X factor. Who, in your opinion, in order for this Eagles team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who or what is the X factor for the Philadelphia Eagles?
It's my X factors are not going to be like tricky or like, unexpected. They're pretty straightforward. Saquon Barkley to me is going to be the X factor.
Agreed.
For the Eagles.
1,000%.
The game plan is to stop him. Steve Spagnuolo is creating a game plan to stop Saquon Barkley. Everyone knows they're going to hand him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to work? And this is it's mano a mano, kind of our line versus yours, and we're going to get after it. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to try to establish the line of scrimmage right off the bat and give Saquon the ball. What I hope doesn't happen, for the sake of the conversation we're having now, is that they veer away from him as the game goes on because for whatever reason they decided they want to start airing it out. Yes, you want to take what they give you, so they are going to load the box to try to stop Saquon. So that is going to give you some opportunities to go over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to take that, but then I want them to remember where their bread and butter is and keep feeding him, because as the game goes on, he's going to wear him down. He's got like 7 60-yard touchdown runs this year.
I mean, the dude's thigh muscle is about the size of like
your entire
a
torso.
watermelon.
Yeah.
So, I think if you're going, does he have the strength and the endurance to push through 4 quarters in a Super Bowl? My answer is yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, originally my X factor was also going to be Saquon Barkley. But now, listening to you talk, I also think an X factor could very easily be AJ Brown.
Yeah.
You know that this Chiefs defense is watching film and studying and preparing for Saquon Barkley. You have to stop him if you want to win another Super Bowl. Because of that, I feel like the Eagles need to be prepared. Don't abandon the run. Stick to what you know, stick to what you're good at, but have that alternative. You have such a talented group of receivers as well that haven't really needed to show out this season because they've got a Saquon Barkley, but they're still there. They still exist. They're still really great receivers. So I think in so many ways you could have a really big game from AJ Brown that the Chiefs weren't prepared for because Saquon was their priority. So AJ Brown could be a X factor.
I agree. And that might even be more poetic of an ending because he's been frustrated all year.
Yeah.
And it's been Saquon. And so Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs, they're aware of how good AJ Brown is.
Oh, yeah.
They know, they're covering all their bases with the talent that the Philadelphia Eagles have. That said, they are going to load the box and try to stop Saquon. And AJ Brown is one of the best receivers in the league who's been reading books on the sideline all year because he's been frustrated and he's trying to calm his mind because it's all getting to him.
This might be his moment.
Yeah. And that would be pretty awesome.
Oh, I just got goosebumps thinking about it.
If AJ Brown goes off for like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns and the Eagles beat him like 38-20, because we've talked about this, you got to beat him, in my opinion, by 2 scores. You got to beat him.
Can we beat him by 5?
Yeah, beat him by 5.
Just to say, like this.
55. I think it was the Niners won 55-10 or something in 89 or 90. It was I was a little kid and on the block, 49er fan, and it was like I think they beat the Broncos 55-10.
Ouch.
Yeah, but that would be cool. A 55-10 butt whooping. Then you'd see a lot of Taylor Swift like, oh my God, faces up there.
Not the OMGs.
Oh no. The head buried in her hands. Teardrops on her guitar. That's what would be happening. That's right.
There. We will see lots of teardrops on that guitar, hopefully. X factor for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It feels pretty obvious to say Patrick Mahomes here.
No,
but
I'm actually going to go with a Travis Kelce.
Ah, okay.
Because he is that X factor in the play. He shows up and has crazy playoff games, and he seems like a tick above everyone in that moment. He's so ready for those moments. He's come out of nowhere, not come out of nowhere, but had some kind of pedestrian regular seasons followed by, like last year in the playoffs. They went into Baltimore and he had like 10 catches and he was just dominating them. He had a really good postseason last year. Not a good game last game.
Right.
2 catches for 19 yards. I think if Travis Kelce comes alive in this game, it really provides Patrick Mahomes with a security blanket, someone that makes him feel comfortable back there. And Travis Kelce is just so good at finding these open spots. And Vic Fangio is really good.
I was just going to say 2 words.
Yeah, Vic. But if to me, if Travis Kelce goes off, it's going to be a tough one for the Eagles.
Well, can't have that happen. Now, can we?
No.
Yeah, no, definitely don't want to see that. Travis Kelce is the type of player, and the chemistry that he has with Patrick Mahomes is something that also you just can't underestimate. They've been playing with each other for a while. That's been his go-to guy. And Travis Kelce is just, he finds a way to sneak attack you where you're like, he's been kind of quiet and slow this season. He doesn't look like he's in the best shape. And then playoffs come around and here he is. But we did see a pretty unimpressive game from him last game. So there's the hope that maybe he's just slowing down. Maybe grandpa's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not a grandpa, but
you know what's crazy though about grandpa running routes?
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets you more open when you can slow down and feel your way into a route. When I was a young receiver in the NFL.
When I was a young guy back
and most
in the day.
young receivers do this. You're in a hurry to get everywhere. You are sprinting everywhere. You're so worried about getting there on time because everyone else is moving so fast around you and you're supposed to get to a certain depth and you're just sprinting everywhere. And a lot of times when you're sprinting everywhere, you don't see what's happening in front of you. You can't see the coverage shift or open up. You can't see what's going on because you're just sprinting. If you don't believe me, take a book and then go sprint down the street and try to read it while you're sprinting. It's kind of hard. So you're moving through these things so fast that you don't see things and you don't slow it down in your mind. The older you are, the longer you play, the more the game slows down and the more you realize you have a little time here.
Yeah.
And I can actually let things unfold in front of me before I understand which area of the zone to sit in. Rod Smith was great at that. Randy Moss was really good at that. Randy Moss was he was very fast, and so he could afford to be very patient at the beginning of his routes, let things unfold in front of him, and then explode. I was a practice squad receiver my first year with the Broncos, and what that meant was every week I was a different guy that we were going to play. So, and the one week that we were playing the Minnesota Vikings, I got to be Randy Moss all week. So I had to play like Randy, or I had to try to emulate his game, okay? I wasn't as fast as Randy, so that's hard to do. But we watch him on film, and so I had to do what Randy did. And what Randy would do sometimes is kind of literally just walk off the line of scrimmage. As everyone else explodes into the play, he's walking or just skipping, just kind of seeing what's going on. And then he'd wait for it to unfold, and then he'd explode into his route, and he'd be wide open because everything cleared out. And then he explodes it and sits in his zone. He's right there. Travis Kelce does a lot of that. If you watch him, he's never running past anybody. What he's doing is he has a very good vision and very good understanding of the way zones open up. And Patrick Mahomes knows what he thinks and how he sees things so he knows where he's going to hook up.
Yep.
And he has also a lot of freedom on his routes. Most concepts in football are like very detailed about where you're supposed to end up.
Yeah.
But sometimes for veteran players, older players, they give you a little more freedom. It's a choice route. You can break in, you can break out, you can hook up right there. Just find the open area in this general vicinity. And the older you get, the more responsibility you get there. And now Travis Kelce's at the point where they don't even have, he doesn't even have to run the play if he doesn't want to.
Right.
A couple years ago when that game at Arrowhead, that playoff game when Josh Allen scored, but left them a little bit too much time. They had 17 seconds left.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
And they went right down the field and scored a field goal. There's a story about that play. They called in the play, and they both, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, both looked at each other in the huddle and were like, we're not doing that play. Let's just see what happens. So he goes out, and he's in the slot. Travis Kelce's in the slot. Nobody's in front of him. And so he just looks at Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes looks at him, and they're like, okay, we know what we're going to do. So he just runs up 15 yards, turns around, catches the ball, because that's easy, right? You just go to the open spot. But football becomes very complicated sometimes with the way the coaches draw it up. That's why Sean Payton takes 20 seconds to get his play call in, and it's super wordy. It's very confusing.
Yep.
But sometimes football is really, really easy. And I guess this is a really long way of saying Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes play the easy brand of football, the schoolyard brand, where it's like, I know where the open spot is, and I know to throw you that ball in the open spot. And when those guys are clicking in that regard, it's really hard to stop it.
Very. And it's gonna require this Eagles defense to be prepared for that pop out Travis Kelce moment because we know it's coming.
Yeah.
We know how he shows up in the playoffs, and it's safer to make the assumption that you're going to get a great game by Travis Kelce than it is to not be prepared for a great game by Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So,
Although only Morale saying that Kelsey's mind isn't on it. He's done. His head is not in the game, Nate.
well, we hope so.
We hope so, yeah.
I hope that's accurate, but it doesn't feel smart to act like you're not going to get the best out of him in the Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
So we're going to tread lightly there, but let's have a little fun with the Super Bowl now.
Yeah.
Super Bowl props. And I'm not talking Jalen Hurts over on passing yards. I'm not talking Saquon Barkley rushing yards. I'm not talking Travis Kelce receptions. Okay. We're doing Super Bowl props, talking Gatorade color.
Oh.
National anthem, over under. So we're doing it all. Okay. And there was one other one I wanted to touch on. Let me see here. Oh, I think that was it. National anthem, Gatorade color, and halftime performance.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Gatorade color.
Yeah.
Do you know who the favorite is right now to win for the Gatorade color?
Probably yellow.
Wrong.
Red. Orange. It's got to be one of those three.
Went through. The favorite right now is actually purple.
How is purple the favorite?
I don't know.
That's insider information there. Maybe somebody how could purple be the favorite? Purple's a very rare Gatorade color.
It is, but purple was also the color last year.
Oh, and it's the same. Oh, because they're thinking the Chiefs are going to win, and it's the Chiefs.
Maybe
people who put the okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Purple is the favorite, and it was the Gatorade color last year. However, I'm not sure if you guys know this. This is a little history for you on the Gatorade color.
Gatorade history.
Yeah. The Gatorade shower originated in the mid-1980s with the New York Giants, okay? Over the last 24 Super Bowls, orange is actually the top Gatorade color at 20.8%. Now, since 2015, however, blue Gatorade has been the top at 40%.
Since 2015?
15. Since 2015, blue has been the top Gatorade color. But purple was the color last year, and purple is the favorite this year. The odds, and this is just for funsies, purple is the favorite, just behind purple, yellow, green. After them, orange, red, pink, blue, clear water, and then for plus 2,500 in some books, no Gatorade bath at all, which is not. I can't picture that happening.
Interesting.
So what are you feeling, Nate? What are you feeling for Gatorade color? Since 2015, blue has been the most popular.
Yeah. Which
for
is
a
weird
long time it was orange, and then last year it was purple.
Blue's a weird one because, I never saw the blue much when I played. It was always either, I feel like, yellow or orange. Because those are the classics with Gatorade.
Right.
You got the fruit punch, you got the orange, you get the lemon lime. That's what he always used to be.
Blue's the best, though.
But what is blue? Glacier freeze?
Yeah. You don't question it. You just drink it, and it's delicious.
I have no doubt about that, but it's just less common.
It's true.
You know what I mean? And so the blue being the most common since 2015 is an interesting thing. So there must be like a NFL pipeline thing where they like that more, they use that more, that's easier to get, or whatever it might be. So if that is the case, if it's blue and then it's purple, I think I would go with blue. No, I can't go with blue because I don't want it to be blue.
Something in my gut is telling me like yellow green.
Yeah, that's what originally because I thought the lemon lime was the more common.
I think lemon lime this year is where I'm.
I'm going to go with orange.
Okay.
This year. Orange is also a classic color.
Is.
Everyone likes the orange.
Yeah.
And hoping the Philadelphia Eagles win, so it's on their side. And we're not banking on it being purple because it's the Chiefs people who put it together last year and stuff like that. So I'm going orange.
Okay. I'm going to go lemon lime.
All right.
Something's telling me that the yellow green is the vibe this year. So we'll see if I'm
How would you feel if someone ran up behind you after a moment of triumph and dumped a big bucket of sticky fruit juice on your head?
I would punch them in the throat. If that answers that question.
Makeup.
Yeah.
All this.
I would punch them in the throat.
You'd be like, you know what?
You know what it is, though? For women, it's so different because it takes so long to if I were to style my hair, you guys have seen how curly my natural hair is. When I straighten it or style it at all, that's like hours of work, and with one little drop of water, it is ruined.
Really?
Oh my gosh, you should see when I will have my hair completely pinched straight. The second it gets wet in the shower, it's like boink, it's like immediate. So water is not my
So
friend.
the Gatorade would be kind of a.
It would be sticky and curly, and I would just be like, I would
mad.
be livid.
Well, if it was tied back like that, it would be all right, right?
Yeah, until my little edges start popping out. I mean, there would just be no. And then, of course, the makeup. I'd be like, really? This was. But honestly, in that moment, when you win a Super Bowl, I doubt you're really thinking about how do I look right now? You're just living it up.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say I probably really wouldn't. Hindsight wouldn't care that much, but in the moment, I'd be like.
Have you ever won a championship where you had any kind of?
I won state for my dance team in high school, my freshman year of high school.
What did you guys do to celebrate?
We went to Cinzetti's.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
It's like
an Italian
an
restaurant?
Italian buffet restaurant.
Yummy.
It was delish. No, we didn't really. I mean, in high school, it's kind of hard, but it was a very fun time. But yeah, I won then.
Congrats.
It was pretty cool. I have a state championship ring somewhere.
State
It's
championship.
collecting dust. I'm not sure where it is, but
You should wear it around.
I probably should.
Is it like a big Super Bowl ring type of thing?
It's not super big, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's got my name on it, the year we won. Yeah.
You should bring that in. We should put that
I
back
should.
here amongst this.
It's like this big, by the way. It's
Yeah.
not very big at all. Okay, so Gatorade color, you're going orange.
I'm going orange, yeah.
I'm going lemon lime.
Yep.
Now, national anthem is an interesting one. Typically, the line for the national anthem for the over-under is set around 2 minutes. That's where we kind of see it range from.
Yeah.
Did you find out who is singing the national anthem?
I saw it was like a Baptist singer from New Orleans or something like that.
They tend to hold out their lines a little bit.
They do, but I would also say this.
Very soul singing,
But not being a known name, you might not want to make it all about you and take it out longer.
Great point.
Like Christina Aguilera would make that thing 5 minutes, right?
Right.
But I feel
Okay.
like someone who's just like super happy to be there, is an amazing singer, but also is not a household name, would probably not want to take advantage of the situation and go on some crazy runs.
That's a great point.
So
Because
I'm
I'm
gonna go
thinking
under.
more New Orleans. If it's a Baptist New Orleans singer, there's that soul, that deep where everything's like, very long, drawn out. But that is a good point. If it's not a household name, then maybe there's a little bit more reservation here.
There's also
you're
there's
good.
also the factor of, do you have an accompanying music or not? If you're a cappella, you can take that thing as long as you want. But if you have accompanying music, you got to stay on time.
Yep.
And so you can't just carry that thing out. So I think that would matter. I don't know if we can find that out at this point. I think probably not. Or maybe we could.
We probably could.
But I'm going to go under on whatever it is.
Okay. So yeah, typically it's set around 2 minutes for the national anthem. And the past 8 Super Bowls, we've seen it go under 4 times and over 4 times. So a little 50-50 here. You really could go either way, but I think Nate makes a really great case. Let's go under on the national anthem. If it's around 2 minutes, we're going to go under.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
Okay. And then finally, halftime performance. First of all, what are your thoughts on the halftime?
It's Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Kendrick fan. Not that I dislike Kendrick. I think he's very talented. I just have, maybe I'm just too old. And it's like the music, the rap music that I identify with is just of a different generation.
Which is fair.
And Kendrick's, there's some of Kendrick's music that I have enjoyed, but I for the most part, not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. What is it about how many songs he plays?
No, it's just kind of our opinions. I do have a hot take on the halftime.
Oh, tell me. Is he gonna make fun of Drake in it at all? Like, are they gonna do?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll pull out some beef. But I have to tell you, if the NFL is smart, they know ratings have gone down, and they know who's responsible for the ratings going up over the last couple of seasons.
Tay-Tay?
Tay-Tay. Did you know that Kendrick Lamar is a feature in one of Taylor Swift's songs?
Oh, wow.
Called Bad Blood. She will already be there. And I could see them doing the whole thing where they're like panning to her seat and she's not in it. And now all of a sudden she comes flying out of the freaking stage ground like, the NFL goddess that she is at this point. I'm just saying, they do have a song together. She will already be there.
And and if she came out in a Kelsey jersey and
100%.
fire.
Come on. And he's maybe wearing, where's Kendrick from? I
But
don't even know where.
for Tay Tay, she doesn't need that. You know what I mean?
She doesn't, but I also think she likes attention.
But she doesn't want to take attention from her man on his day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's not. She wouldn't really be because once halftime's over, she's back in her seat.
No, people
saying,
tune
"Oh my
in
god,
oh my god. No, but then she would have to probably you'd have to be there like an hour before. You couldn't just like stumble down there like 5 minutes left in the second quarter. You probably have to be down there for most of the
I would just say
quarter.
never underestimate the power of quick changes.
Yeah.
Done a few in my life.
No, but just to get up from the suite down like the hill, boom, 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 boom.
They probably
down.
have a secret tunnel that they dug just for her.
Okay. Well, if that's the case.
I'm just saying, no, listen, I don't know how likely this is to happen. I am just saying that to me, it's written in the script.
Yeah, no, it is.
I mean, for God's sake, her boyfriend is on the Chiefs. They're going back. How do we switch this up? Because Rihanna and Justin Bieber have a song. And I remember when she was the halftime performance, everyone was like, is Justin? He's there. He's been posting that he's there. Is he gonna, it was like all the hype was built around, is Justin Bieber gonna go out there? He didn't. But this would be a perfect opportunity for Taylor Swift to be like, well, he didn't, but I will.
Okay.
I've got a song.
Yeah. I feel like
if you hear Bad Blood start to play, Nate.
Okay.
I'm just saying, don't be shocked if she comes flying through the stage.
I just feel like for Tay Tay, she's conquered the world. She's so rich and so powerful and so famous, and he has supported her in so many things. Although he did come out on the stage with her and do a freaking little dance, right?
So what are we talking about now?
Oh,
we're talking about
a crossover.
We're talking about a script that is already written here.
Or she comes out as a player and takes a snap. You know, then
okay, well now we're going
then she kicks a field goal.
If we see that, I'm turning my TV off immediately. It's not even close. But I really could see her. Did you see her little outfit for the Grammys last night? People are, of course, her name is Taylor, so you can take this how you want.
What?
But she was wearing this very beautiful, she looked stunning, by the way. Beautiful dress. It had this very high slit. And she was looking nice and beautiful and curvy. I mean, she looked amazing. And then she had these chains hanging from the slit in her skirt that was kind of a little high up, I might add. Little PG-13 there.
Okay.
And from the chain was a dangling T.
So
I get her name's Taylor, but that also feels like a Travis reference right there.
That'd be cool.
Because it was very like seductive in the placement of the T, and it was hanging at like the hip, and it was very high up. And I was like, whoa.
She's like, be careful with your eyes. This is Travis's world.
And you're just living in
That's right. Keep your eyes out of Travis.
It reminded me of High School Musical where they're like, he puts the necklace on and she's like, T as in Troy.
I didn't see that.
Okay, well, whatever. You need to watch more movies.
Or more, yeah, okay.
More movies. I'm just saying, I do think it is written in the script that if she does, to be honest, if she's not part of the performance, because who else would he have?
Yeah, who has he collaborated with? I don't know. Some other rappers, maybe.
I just think it is written right then and there. You want the ratings to go up?
But you do want some good collaborations, some good guests coming in these days, because not everyone likes Kendrick Lamar's music. And you do want to find some stars who appeal to different genres, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of people who are like, get this rap off my TV, you know, like I want to see, or whatever. Like, have they ever had a country music star do it? Like, has Garth Brooks ever done it, or anybody?
I would be asleep if they did.
Really?
I don't like country music at all.
None of it?
Rascal Flatts, but that's not really country.
Is it not? It's just pop.
I mean, I moved to Texas for college, and I said, they're like, do you like country? I was like, I like Rascal Flatts, and they were like, wrong. Okay, that's not country. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. Well, you asked what I liked, and that's what I told you. Let's see. I'm trying to read and see if there is any predictions as to who is going to guess. I don't really know, but I do think it is a picture perfect idea. It's in the NFL script, if you will, in my brain.
Yep. That
Taylor Swift, Bad Blood, with Kendrick Lamar, they pan to her seat. It's empty. Where's T Swift? And all of a sudden, because baby, now we got bad blood. And she's rising out of the stage. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll be ready for
wearing a Kelsey jersey or just a Chiefs something or whatever.
I would love that.
Or just an NFL jersey, because the NFL's like, that's our moneymaker right there, baby. Rising from the ashes.
They better get married.
Oh my God, could you imagine we go through all this and they break up?
Yeah.
Maybe she told him, if you don't win another Super Bowl, we're done.
What if the NFL, what if this is a whole arranged thing, you know?
Do you think that's possible? That the NFL
Anything,
said,
anything's
"Hey,
possible.
our ratings are kind of dropping a little bit. Taylor, we know you're single because we just heard your latest album. You sound pretty sad.
Yeah,
Travis recently broken up,
yeah.
with his longtime girlfriend, and
And they wanted the fans. They wanted like the Swifties to come on over, and they did.
she travels to every football stadium in the country anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
see. We'll see. We'll
Kendrick
see.
Lamar, I'm excited about it. I always prefer a performer that's gonna dance. I love watching
But you know they're going to have
performances.
crazy dancers around and set changes and
Of
it's
course.
going to be very elaborate.
Can you remember your favorite Super Bowl halftime performance? I have mine. It's not even close to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The one that jumps out to me was Prince.
Oh, come on.
Because
Yeah.
Prince was literally
Iconic.
playing Purple Rain in the rain. It
Mm-hmm.
was raining and he's out there playing guitar in the rain. And
in my free time, I actually go back and watch Super Bowl halftime performances because I'm a dancer. I'm a former dancer. So I have a lot of appreciation for performance quality and choreography and costuming and all of it. Like, I love that. That is like outside of sports, what I do for a living. Dance has been my passion since I was 4. So I love watching that back. Do you remember the Beyonce Bruno Mars?
Yeah, I think so.
That one is one of my all-time elites.
Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson was iconic because of the boob that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I like the one was it a couple years ago with or was it last year with the West Coast rappers, Dr. Dre and Snoop and Eminem and 50 Cent.
Yes, that wasn't last year. Last year was Rihanna.
Okay.
That might have been like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, Rihanna was okay. She was kind of like she was pregnant. She was kind of like, I'm just kind of doing it.
To be honest, you want to know my hot take on the Rihanna Super Bowl performance?
What's up?
Totally understand that she was pregnant. I wasn't impressed with her performance at all until I learned that she was pregnant. And then I was like, okay, kind of badass to be up there dancing, singing when you're pregnant, whatever. But my hot take on it is, you knew you were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Bring a guest.
Yeah.
Have somebody with you to just give it a little bit more something.
Yeah.
She chose to do it by herself and just kind of stood there the whole time. And it's like, I get it. You're pregnant. I'm very impressed you were able to do this.
Yeah.
Period. Especially when you're pregnant. But I don't know. That's just, I find that.
Yeah, I agree.
I was a little bored. I was just a little bored. I was a little underwhelmed. And I love Rihanna. So I think my frustration with it was like, come on, girl. You're better than this.
Britney Spears did it, right? Or did she?
I don't know if she ever
Madonna did it.
Yes. And we also had like the Shakira J-Lo.
Oh, yeah.
That people weren't very fond of. They felt like it was a little stripperish.
J-Lo's not like a good singer.
J-Lo has kind of fallen off a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of. Anyway, we'll see how this one compares. I don't have super high expectations.
You too.
Yeah, there's been some good ones. I don't have super high expectations for this one, not because I don't love Kendrick Lamar, but sometimes it's hard to like get into rap as a performance.
Unless you know the songs.
And I do know quite a few. So I'm sure I'll be.
Usher was a couple years. He was pretty good.
Usher was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on roller skates shirtless. I was like, okay.
And there's a lot of pop songs that are like, those songs. It helps when you know the songs.
They have to be pretty pop. And that's why I think pop artists do the best, because their songs are typically the most like, they're easy to sing to and dance to, where it's like rap, you kind of have to be in that headspace where it's like, if I were to play some Taylor Swift right now, even if you don't like her, you'd be like, shake it on. It's catchy, you know? So I think pop artists are usually the best halftime performances because they also have the dancing and the over-the-top costumes. And so who knows? We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I love the Super Bowl halftime performances just because I appreciate performance quality, costumes, choreography, all that. It's just very up my alley. We are going to end with a little new segment thing that we're going to start implementing into this show.
Before we do it, though, can we mention one little thing?
Of course.
Because someone put this on the chat, but trade Cortland Sutton. There's a rumor out about the Buffalo Bills wanting to maybe trade for Cortland Sutton. There's also a conversation about what Cortland Sutton's new contract might look like. I saw 3 years for $72 million. How would you feel if you heard that the Broncos traded Cortland Sutton for, here's what I saw projected, Cortland Sutton in a 6th round for a 4th and a 6th. So basically, you would get Cortland Sutton you would give away Cortland Sutton, you get a 4th round pick. How would you feel about Cortland leaving?
I don't think that's a smart idea at all. I think that's your veteran, that's your leader, that's your most reliable receiver at this point in time. I
Yeah.
think when you have Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton building content, I am really not in favor of messing with continuity when you finally start to see it.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that would be a great idea.
Yeah. He had
Personally.
First 1,000-yard receiving year in since 2019. He had 8 touchdowns, 81 catches. He had a really good season, and like you said, Bo Nix's security blanket, right? Like a budding connection.
Why
there.
make him uncomfortable and take that away?
Well, I think there's an idea that there's a better number 1 prospect out there,
which I don't deny.
And so would you want to pay $24 million a year for a receiver who's not your number 1? Is there someone who would be a better building block? Because Cortland is 29. Would there be a better piece there?
Yeah.
Going forward, I think it's a conversation they're probably having, and they had it last year when he held out and they gave him a little more money,
right,
with some incentives in his contract that he reached. Because you remember we talked about that, but you never know. With the Luka trade, you never know. Let's just go into because I know that segues into our next segment.
It really does. Trade deadlines can be a very scary thing and also a very just intimidating thing, but they happen, and there has been some jaw-dropping trades happening in the NBA. And if you want to know more about how I feel about that, we will have an off-court episode immediately following this off-field episode. But something new that we're going to implement into our off-field shows is a segment that is inspired by the game of football. And that's how our shows are going to start being built, is inspired by the game of football. 4 quarters. We may switch seats at the quarter mark. We're going to do a 2-minute warning, and that is what this segment is about. So Nate Jackson is going to have 2 minutes. I'm going to give him a topic.
Yes.
Or a question or whatever I think is going to put him in an uncomfortable position. Look at me go.
I got 2 minutes and I got to score. I got to score a touchdown to win.
Basically, it's do or die right now. So he has 2 minutes on the clock, and you will hear a sound when the time starts and you will hear a sound when the time ends. The prompt for today is this. You have 2 minutes, Nate, to give me the NFL equivalent of the Luka Doncic trade.
Ooh.
And then you have to make a case for that equivalent to work for both teams, to work in both teams' favor. I think when you have big trades like we're seeing with the Luka one, it's like, oh, the Lakers won this trade. Oh, the Mavs won this trade. You have to make a case for it working for both.
Okay.
And you have to find the Luka Doncic equivalent in the NFL.
I can do that.
A trade that would make jaws drop, would make fans cry, would make fans even protest potentially.
Yeah.
And the front office is just like, this is what we needed to do.
Yeah.
So
I can do that.
We have Andy producing. We are going to start the time in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Okay. So Luka for Anthony Davis, and I'm going to try to give a really quick equivalent.
Okay.
Joe Burrow.
Okay.
For Myles Garrett. Now, you would think that was crazy, right? Because quarterback has way more value than a pass rusher, but a pass rusher has a lot of value too. This would take the NFL world by storm, because quarterbacks like Joe Burrow don't come around every day or ever.
Really?
Similar to Luka, right?
Luka's
led then NBA in scoring, I don't know how many times over the last 5 or 6 years.
He's phenomenal.
Similar to what Joe Burrow has done. Joe Burrow has not won a Super Bowl. Neither Luka hasn't got them to he's gotten to the NBA finals, but they didn't win it.
Correct.
Actually got smoked there. And it's kind of similar to what the Bengals did. They went on that run that 1 year and made it to the Super Bowl, but they couldn't get the victory. And Joe Burrow, a young player, you're building for the future. I see it as very similar. And then, the opposite, Myles Garrett versus AD, big guys, right, who affect the game, but they're not quarterbacks. They're not scorers. They're not the guys who you build the franchise around. However, in this scenario, the way it would work is, got 45 seconds here. Okay, so if the Bengals got Myles Garrett and no longer had Joe Burrow, they already have Trey Hendrickson on one side, who led the league in sacks this year. Now they'd have the reigning defensive player of the year on the other side, okay? So now they have a very, very potent defense, and their defense sucks, so they need help there. They already have awesome receivers on their offensive side, so you don't need a quarterback as good as Joe Burrow to get the ball to Jamar Chase and let him do his thing, right? And maybe they actually need to take some pressure off Joe Burrow and get the ball in some running backs' hands and change their offense a little bit to grind out the clock and be a more possession-based offense. On the other side of the ball, with the
Browns.
The Browns, now they have a freaking quarterback. Now they have a franchise quarterback, which they haven't been able to have, and ever since Deshaun Watson, that debacle, they haven't been able to figure out that position. Now they have it, and they're figured out for the rest of their lives.
Woo! Yeah. All right. How tough was that?
That was pretty hard. Now the clock ticking down.
Because truly, Myles Garrett, Joe Burrow, who would win that trade? The Browns or the Bengals?
The Browns would win it because they got Joe Burrow, right? Maybe.
And I think that's how a lot of people feel with the Luka trade.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got a superstar that just took you to the finals less than 8 months ago.
Yeah.
What does your franchise look like without him? It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and we will break down the Luka trade a whole lot more in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes on Off Court. So make sure you tune in for that if you want to hear all things NBA talk. But Nate, that's it for today's show of Off Field. I'm actually on an airplane tomorrow, headed to New Orleans to do some stuff. I will have some content that we'll be delivering to you from New Orleans. Nate will be here still giving you guys lots of content as well. We'll keep you posted and updated on all things NFL leading up to the Super Bowl. So any final thoughts before we get out of here?
My final thoughts are just for you on your journey. I hope you have a great time.
It'll be fun.
Just soak it in.
Yeah.
Go to some parties,
I will, but I'm going to keep it very safe. I'm going to play it very safe. You know, this is just for some reason, an anxious time for me right now. I think a lot of people are feeling that. And so whenever I go to stuff that's got, big crowds, and I just like to be on the safer side rather than the fun side. So I'll probably be a little bit of a loser to some people because I'll be ordering room service and just
that also means that you're showing up for work the next day and you're not hungover, you don't look like crap, and you're ready to rock. So you're a professional, Liv, so go there and spread your wings and fly. This is the first.
Eagles fly.
Have you been to Radio Row before?
I have.
Okay, so
this is my fourth year.
Okay,
maybe?
Cool. So you're all pro by now, but go have some fun and we'll check in with you.
It'll be fun. And I will have you guys updated with all things content. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Guerrilla Sports Off Field. I'm Liv Moods. That's Nate Jackson. It is Super Bowl week, and we will have you covered on all things NFL and Super Bowl talk this week. So make sure you're following Guerrilla Sports on all things social. This is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money by either getting you a better interest rate or lowering your monthly payment. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Oh my God.